Welcome back to Resilience. I'm John Biggs. Today we have Lorenz Meier. He's the CEO of Auterion. Welcome, Lorenz. So tell us a little bit about yourself.
I'm Lorenz. I'm the founder and CEO of Auterion. Before founding Auterion, I created MAVLink and Pixhawk, two really important pieces of technology that are used by everyone pretty much in the drone industry as well. And what we're doing at Auterion is very, very different to, I would say, pretty much any other company out there operating at scale, which is we're building the operating system for autonomy. And in the current day and age, you could also say right now, really the operating system for warfare, because we believe that working on warfare/defense is the most important problem we could possibly be working on right now.
So most recently, I saw a interceptor receiver that you guys have been working on. I guess it was like a few days ago that you demonstrated that. Why don't you tell us about your the interceptor systems that you're building?
So we have been working for the last 3 years or so on offensive strike drones used in Ukraine at scale, also being sold to the US military or to the German Bundeswehr. What we're doing with interceptors right now is is a response to one key insight that I would say the last 3 months have brought, which is even if you have incredibly sophisticated air defense, that those air defense systems either miss or are exhausted by strike drones. And so we are bringing all the technology we've built for ground attack systems now into the air and are helping to deal with the threat from incoming drones and eventually drone swarms.
So this is sort of a fire and forget sort of system. You aim it at the sky, and it finds the drone and takes it down.
Yes, we believe that the best strategy to field a new product, a new capability, is to really do that in phases. We call this crawl, walk, run. And pointing the interceptor at the target and launching it is clearly the crawl piece. Yes, we will eventually support that with interceptor launchers that are integrated with air defense systems and radars. But starting with something that an individual soldier can launch at an identified threat is allowing us to field this way, way quicker because we're not held back by integration or certifications or logistics challenges. It's something that can be available to allied forces pretty much immediately.
I mean, I think there's been a lot of discussion about drone attacks. How close are we to an incursion in NATO airspace? I mean, obviously there's been accidents, right? Some drones have fallen in, but at what point is this is there a terrorist threat associated with these things?
Historically, let me choose a historical example with
Sure.
strike drones. Drones dropping grenades are probably at this point 10 years old. If you look at the first instances, they haven't turned into widespread phenomenon. So I am optimistic that the fact that this can be built, and by the way, it is highly regulated, and we hold a lot of licenses in the US and Germany to be able to do this legally. I don't think it will be a threat overnight. However, it shows what was technically feasible for the last few years, and thankfully nobody did it. And that's why I believe that air defense, also with a hard kill, so a kinetic intercept at airports and other places, is necessary. And we will have to face that and talk about it.
What does a real intercept or prevention system look like? I don't know, for a stadium or for a government building. Is that something that eventually is going to be installed on a roof? Is that what we're expecting, or is it something that like a drone that flies around and just watches?
I could see that installing it in a fixed location on a roof can be a very economical solution because you don't have to position it all the time. We will also introduce product that can be used for that later in the year. And I believe that what is very concerning right now, rightfully so, I'm not talking about the interceptors, I'm talking about the drone threat, will be a mitigated risk over the next few years. I think it's a normal technological development that you have new technology can bring new threats. And we've always found as a society a solution to deal with that. And as we're seeing when you're referring, obviously, when you refer to stadium, refer to terror threats, we're seeing that the most basic everyday objects like cars are being used for them. And so we just have to make sure that we have defenses for all the potential risks.
Yeah, I mean, I'm just thinking primarily about the recent attack in Kiev on the event, the defense event there, where there were 10 people were killed and 100 people injured. You basically have a that seems like a it seems like an entirely feasible thing that could expand out. What's Auterion doing right now? What's been changing this year for you guys?
So we've always strived to be the operating system across air, land, and sea, across all the offensive capabilities, including reconnaissance. What's really changing is adding drone defense and the ability to shoot down drones to the portfolio. And with that, we believe the integrated offensive defensive solution that we have is incredibly important, because as you field more drones, short range, medium range, long range, it's a little bit, when it comes to warfare, like in computing in the enterprise in the 80s, right? You have more and more computers, you have more and more drones. You have to manage them, you have to network them, you have to figure out how to use them together. And that's exactly what this company is built for. And it's a problem that isn't a problem until you own, as an operator, as a force, thousands or tens of thousands of drones. And at that point, you start to realize, hey, how do we actually use them? And now militaries around the world are realizing this is a real need.
Do you manage that many drones in physical space? Obviously, you have lots of radios going at once. You have lots of telemetry. What is our current machines fast enough to, like, I don't know, make sure that they don't hit each other?
So we actually rely mostly on peer-to-peer communication
Hmm.
of these systems, because that will ensure that even if the ground station is not reachable anymore, there's still like information or avoiding each other. So maybe that's the most important thing. And because it's peer to peer, it also means that it's inherently scalable, because it doesn't depend on, for example, the bandwidth to a centralized server, or depends on the performance of the centralized
Hmm.
server.
Okay, so most of it's edge case communication. So the drone operator doesn't, or the drone system doesn't need to go back to a central location. All right, that's fascinating. What's next? What are you guys shipping out to? What are you shipping out next for customers?
So we have announced over the last 3 months, I think, 2 or 3 major milestones. The first is going into long range drones with AirLogics, and also doing that it's over 5,000 units, so in a reasonably high volume. The second piece is the recently announced Skyfall contract, where we ship 50,000 drones in that contract alone. That brings our total for the year to over 100,000. And when I'm saying we're shipping drones, that's of course always in collaboration with drone manufacturers. We don't make drones, we always partner with a company, and then we bring those products jointly to market. And then the third element is, now on top of all this, long range and volume, adding air defense. And that in many ways completes us doing all the distances, add volume, now also offensive and defensive.
Lawrence, thank you for joining us. This has been pretty enlightening, and I've been curious about these drone defenses ever since last week. So it's pretty fascinating. All right,
Very good. Thank you.
this has been Resilience. I'm John Biggs. We'll see you next time.
I'm Lorenz. I'm the founder and CEO of Auterion. Before founding Auterion, I created MAVLink and Pixhawk, 2 really important pieces of technology that are used by everyone pretty much in the drone industry as well. And what we're doing at Auterion is very, very different to, I would say, pretty much any other company out there operating at scale, which is we're building the operating system for autonomy. And in the current day and age, you could also say right now, really the operating system for warfare, because we believe that working on warfare/defense is the most important problem we could possibly be working on right now.